What is going on to the AMC traders? What is going on to the AMC stock group? And what is going on to the AMC long-term investors? In today's video, we are going to be trying to have the most accurate price predictions and expectations for AMC stock tomorrow, which is also Tuesday, July 27th. Now, just to be clear, in this video and in all the price prediction and expectation videos, all the price targets that I talk about, these are not my ultimate price targets. These are simply the near-term price targets, the day-to-day price targets, because a lot of people think that this is long-term price target for AMC stock, but that does not make any sense. I tried to explain how I am actually doing a challenge right now, right? I decided since the beginning of January to keep my AMC positions in a long-term account on Webull, so that therefore in 1 year, with the benefit of capital gains tax, that is when I will have the decision 1 year out to decide how I would like to trade AMC stock. But my ultimate price targets and my long-term price targets are much, much higher. Definitely not any of the price targets that we talk about in today's video, whether it be $30 a share, $40 a share, $50 a share. My ultimate long-term price target is much higher. I just thought I needed to say that because I do not want to create any fear, uncertainty, or doubt if I say that AMC stock could go lower or higher within the next day, week, month, etc. And if you guys would also like to participate in any sort of challenge, long-term challenge, or if you guys would just like to open up another brokerage account in case one of your brokerage decides to shut off one day, for example, Fidelity was not working one day, and so therefore a lot of investors, they had nothing to do. Okay, they could not buy AMC, they could not sell AMC, they cannot even buy any of their other stocks. So if you guys would like to just take the precautions right now so that in the future you will always have at least one brokerage to buy from, there's nothing wrong with opening up many brokerages. So therefore, if you guys like to sign up for Webull, the link is in my description to do so. And now that the precautions and just to keep yourself prepared for the future is out of the way, we can now talk about what is going to happen tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow, very near term for AMC stock. So right off the bat, one of the levels that we did talk about quite a lot in the last video was levels. We really emphasized this concept because the levels are extremely important because we do not know right off the morning how the AMC and the entire market sentiment is going to be on that day. For example, today there is a lot of news surrounding the general market and the S&P 500. And so where is the S&P 500 on a day like today? Obviously the flow is going to be extremely bullish when the S&P 500 is up another 2 points. Okay, this is an index fund. Index funds, even if they go up 1 to 2 points, that is amazing for the general market because these are the type of indexes that are supposed to generate a year-to-date return of 10%. But when the stock is already up 2 points in one day or even higher, in 1 week it ended up going from $422 all the way to 440, an estimated 20 points in just 1 week. This is crazy for indices. And so that's sentiment. Right now, we are still unsure about whether AMC stock has an inverse correlation or a direct correlation with the S&P 500 and the IWM. And for those of you guys that do not know, the IWM is the index for small cap stocks. And so the IWM on the year-to-date chart, it is actually down on the day, but let's see the 1 day 1 minute chart. Maybe it's not down. Yeah, so on the 1 day 1 minute chart is actually up on the day. So I'm just going to try to understand if the IWM decided to follow the same pattern that AMC stock did today. So right off the open, we decided to have a gap down, then back up. AMC stock didn't have the same type of pattern. So July 26th, decided to go up, down, up, down. Let's see the IWM one more time. Down, up, down, and then it ended up going all the way and consolidating, and then going up on the day, the last few minutes before the market closed. And so for AMC stock was actually much different today, right? Because it decided to follow a little bit of a similar pattern, but not quite as much. And usually AMC stock and the IWM, if they had a direct correlation, the pattern would be much, much similar, but it's really not. So that makes us all think that AMC stock and these indexes, these indices, are not really directly correlated. And so that's just one note that I will be talking about more in probably some of my other videos. Not right now though, because I don't think that this will really affect AMC stock price tomorrow. But in the future, I will be talking about why this is very important, but not right now. So right now, we should talk about how the levels for AMC stock were spot on today. And for those of you guys that do not understand what I'm talking about, $38 a share, we talked about this level. And in my previous video, I talked about how I do not think that today, which is July 26th, would be a bearish day for AMC stock. I thought that this stock would go up on the day, and even if it didn't, right? Because not every single day is going to be an accurate day, right? Not every single day are we going to accurately predict the prices for AMC stock. That's just not going to happen, okay? Because that would mean that there would be a perfect trader, when in reality, no one is a perfect trader. So therefore, even the levels that we talked about, the bearish levels, we said that the most bearish level AMC stock could go to would probably be around $36 a share on the day. And I said how I'm not even going to draw any more support levels that go all the way to $33 a share, just because right now I don't think that we are in the market environment where AMC stock will drop that much. Okay, if it's not going to drop that much, then there's no reason to draw support levels that go all the way down to $36 a share. So with that being said, I know I just drew one right now, but you could just end up deleting that. And so therefore, $38 a share, we end up breaking it. And so now where do we end up going from here? On the 1 day, 1 minute, and 5 day minute chart, we still have a head and shoulder pattern. And it looks like we are actually trying to retest this level. And this makes me extremely excited, guys, because if you guys haven't subscribed, you guys already knew about this head and shoulder pattern. That is what is so important, right? Because we understood this pattern before a lot of other investors did. And so, in my opinion, I think that is going to make you guys way ahead of all these other investors, right? Because a lot of people that are invested in AMC stock, they just say that AMC stock is going to go to the moon. But with this pattern, we understood, okay, AMC stock, it is breaking the head and shoulder pattern, and it ended up breaking that. And so, where do AMC stock end up going to? On July 23rd, it consolidated around $35 a share. But on July 26th, we talked about how AMC was probably going to test its all-time highs of the head and shoulder pattern. Is it going to test the all-time highs of $72 a share in one day? Probably not. And we even said AMC stock going to that all-time highs is going to take time. But going to the all-time high of the head and shoulder pattern of $46 a share, it looks like we are trying to retest that level. And it looks like AMC stock will probably try to retest this level again. And so therefore, right now, that would be a resistance level for AMC stock. So $46 a share roughly. That would be resistance level number one, just because this was the highest point of the head and shoulder pattern. I know it went up just a little bit more, but the $46 a share range was actually where we start to consolidate much more than the $47. But 46 to 47, that would be the all-time highs for this pattern. And so therefore, it looks like we are trying to retest that. So the ultimate price target near term is still going to remain the same, $46 a share. Now, is it going to reach there by tomorrow exactly? It is probably going to take some time to consolidate. And so this is also another significant concept that we emphasized in the previous video. Consolidation is going to be the number one factor that really determines how well AMC stock is going to do. For example, in the last video, we talked about how it would be the most ideal for AMC stock to actually go down on the 1 day, 1 minute chart just a little bit, then end up rebounding, so that when they end up rebounding, it would actually have a strong bounce to the upside. Because when stocks decide to dip in the morning, they usually have a lot of early investors, and so therefore it creates a lot of volume in the morning. And morning volume is extremely good for any stock, because near the end of the day, and even it will continue throughout the entire day, movement and the momentum should be strong, just because there are a lot of early dip buyers, and early dips are better than later dips, right? If there's a dip, let's say at 2 o'clock in the evening, that's usually not good. But if there's a dip early at around 9:30, that's probably going to be better, just because 9:30 is around the time of volatility. And so when you have that early volatility, there will be a lot of buyers stepping in the morning, because they know that the volatility will go away later throughout the day. And so, as I said before, ultimate price target for the near term, $46 a share, that is still going to remain. And so what about the downside though? Well, we now know, because we ended up bouncing and we had a resilient bounce to the upside, right? Now we are far away, or not far away, but now we are relatively far away from the head and shoulder support level, that $38 share level. So now, this used to be our resistance, and I talked about this a lot in my video. My previous video, we said $38 a share, definitely going to be a resistance. Before, it used to be a support. Right on the right side of this head and shoulder pattern, and on the left side of this head and shoulder pattern, it was a support. But on the right side, it broke. And then, on the right side of this pattern right here, it was going to be the resistance, right, and end up breaking it. So now AMC stock, the downside risk that I would say, because there was always going to be downside risk, these downside levels are extremely important. So therefore, the level for AMC stock for the downside would be $38 a share at this point, right? Because it used to be a resistance, now it is going to be the support. And so if AMC stock decides to go down to $30 a share tomorrow, you guys know not to have any fear, uncertainty, and doubt like a lot of other investors, because you guys know that this is all just part of the pattern, this is all just part of consolidation, and that this is actually going to be beneficial to AMC stock, because consolidation is always the best for any stock, not just for AMC stock. The only way that AMC stock would be in a bearish territory or bearish sentiment Where a lot of people panic would be if it breaks the head and shoulder pattern. And so tomorrow we are going to have to see, will it break the head and shoulder pattern? If so, I will make an updated video. If not, then guess what, guys? We are going to try to reach the all-time high of the head and shoulder pattern of $46 a share. It will definitely take time. I'm not saying that it's going to reach this level tomorrow, but just know that as soon as it keeps on going higher and higher and higher and starts to consolidate at these higher levels, like let's say $43 a share and 50 cents, that is still going to be better because it is part of the consolidation. Even if it goes back to $30 a share, no worries whatsoever. It is still part of the consolidation. If it breaks $30 a share, then we are going to have to reevaluate. No worries, and I will make an updated video. Now with that being said, AMC Stock Group, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.